I just wanted to show what our rebuild kit is, and it seems to have a lot of extra parts. We're putting the metering block back together.
Take your little jets and put them right here.
Do they have any kind of marking on them?
They both say 58.
Kaylee's installed 2 number 58 jets. She's hand tightening and then screwdriver tightening those jets. Then she's going to take a tapered gasket that goes around the idle mixture screw and put the narrow end in first, and then insert and tighten up that screw. Yeah, so this idle mixture needle is supposed to be run all the way in, and according to my sources, backed off a turn and a half as a starting position, and fine tuning can happen later when it's on the car.
A half. 1 and a half.
Okay, we have a cork gasket. It is tapered, slightly tapered, and we're putting the narrow end in first. And now the idle mixture screw will be turned in all the way until it gently stops. Did you bottom it?
Yeah. A half. 1 and a half. Okay, so we have our new power valve right here. It has rectangular openings as opposed to drilled ones.
And it has 2 of them, not 4.
And we have our numbers, 6.5.
That's the inches of vacuum at which it will open.
We're gonna screw it in upside down so that this gasket doesn't move weird, like, because it's really loose. You can get it finger tight.
Okay, first, now check and see if that gasket is centered. If it's sticking out more on one side than the other, you need to adjust it.
And that gasket is centered. Now we're taking our huge wrench.
Do not torque down on that.
And tightening this. That feels good.
At this point, we are done for now with this metering block, and we're just going to set it off to the side and work on something different. Our Holley trick kit included a new red rubber plug. It has to be pulled through far enough that it sort of catches on the backside and holds it in. On this extension, there's a bulge that has to be pulled through, and then it's installed and won't come out.
Okay, next we're going to take our little spring and make sure it's clean, and then put it right there. And we're taking this, just let her go. Goes like that, right? We're going to take our little washer and put it on.
So we've got a brand new brass seat for the needle.
And a brand new washer.
So you can see down through there, it's a pretty good size opening, and the needle sits down in that.
Okay, now we're going to put this housing back on. Plastic thing. The needle. It has a wire pre-attached to it, and that wire will need to be sticking up when we put it in.
It came in the kit installed on the needle.
This little round piece is going to go around the clip, so we're going to put it on the post and have it go around the clip at the same time. So there's this rounded part right here, and then the clip is on both the needle and the inside part right here of this metal on the float.
I'm just curious about something. So if it's all the way down, it's not quite level, right? And if we push it all the way this way, it does lift up on the needle, but not very much. I think that that tab of that float might need to be bent down.
I bent it. I'm putting it back on to test if it's better. That looks really good to me.
We're getting a lot more movement from the needle now that we have bent that arm on the float to be the proper depth.
I'm gonna put this spring in with the small end towards the float.
What keeps that spring in place?
Nothing.
If you turn it upside down, does it fall out?
No.
Okay, so it's probably good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I built this.
Okay. Spring, float, needle, clip. We're good. Okay, we're just illustrating some differences between this particular 4160 and some others that you might see, both your own and in other videos. Can you turn it to where this port is visible? On a lot of them, this port has an adjustable stop that is used to set the float level. On ours, turn it sideways. This is blocked off, so there's literally no way to set the float height. Okay, what do we have here?
The rear fuel bowl.
And what is different between this fuel bowl and some others that you might have or see on the internet?
These two ports are blocked off. I'm gonna put the float and all its necessary components in the fuel bowl.
It's the secondary fuel bowl.
First, we have this little piece and a washer that goes on right here. It came with the kit, as did this.
What size wrench are you using?
A half. We're gonna put the plastic housing back on.
That housing is a little bit different than the one that goes in the primary.
Yeah.
The primary one had a little tail, didn't it?
Yeah, like right here. Now we're gonna put in the needle, which already has a clip attached to it. This also came with the rebuild kit. Now we're gonna take our float and put it right in here. Putting this little rounded piece is gonna go around the clip. Like that. It looks like it sits level to me. And now we're gonna put the clip on. Do the thing. There we go. It clicked. Now we're gonna put the spring in.
We discussed quite a bit whether the spring should go around these two tabs right here. And we went and looked closely at our disassembly video, and it does not appear to have been around those two tabs.
Now we're gonna take this piece and drop it right down into there in this hole. Now we're gonna put on this plate. It'll go on this side of the carburetor, and we have our new blue gasket. has these 2 alignment pegs on the back. They won't fit in on the other side, so it kind of keeps you on the right track, and it'll go like that. These screws are kind of weird. They have like this hourglass shaped head, which we have a special bit for that fits perfectly.
Okay, one of these screws with the funky head was messed up. The threads are messed up. It did not feel good at all going in. So we've got ourselves an 832 die, which is what the threads seem to be. We've got our secondary fuel bowl, we've got the secondary fuel bowl bolts, and some new plastic washers that go underneath them.
Okay, so we're now gonna put our assembled metering block onto the rest of the carburetor. We're starting out with our new gasket, which we're using this one. There's 2 different options in the kit. We're using this one because there's a little arch right here for ones that have a tube, but ours doesn't. It just has a hole, and this one just has a hole. So we're using that one, and it goes on just like that. And then I'm gonna set it on. And then we're taking our next gasket and putting it on, which will go this way.
So it looks like the key is to align the holes in the gasket with the studs sticking up from the metering block.
Yep. And then make sure this little hole right here is open. So there's a tube that goes in there. Then we're going to put the top piece on, the other fuel bowl. Go right like that, and this end will go into that hole. And now we're going to put our bolts in. I'm putting on my plastic washers first.
What size are those bolts?
5/16.
Okay. Same for the other side?
Yeah.
There are actual recommended torque values on these bolts. All of them are in inch-pounds. I have learned the hard way that if you even try to use a big old torque wrench to do things that are measured in inch-pounds, what you usually end up with is a torque of 0 because you stripped it.
Oh, cool.
So, I'm pretty sure most people do not have a torque wrench that does inch-pounds, so we're doing what everybody else does, which is just kind of common, I'll call it common sense tightness.
Okay, right now we're deciding which gasket to use. We have 5 of them. We already decided these 3 are a no because the holes aren't the exact right size for this. The holes in the gasket are too small.
Okay.
This one, they're way too small. And this one, they're too big. Both of these are perfect, but we're gonna use this one because it covers this hole also, which this one does not do. So we're using this. Gonna put on our base. Now we're putting the diaphragm together. Okay, now we're putting in this little ball that goes in that hole.
Okay, so I'm holding that rod where it's just touching the surface underneath, which means when this lid comes on, it can't push down and cause the diaphragm to buckle. It's like it's spring loaded now, like it wants to take off. I'm about to lose my grip on it, actually.
Really? It's that
yes,
hard?
I'm about to lose my grip on it, seriously. Now, when it pops out, we don't really care. Look how beautiful this is. The edge of the gasket is just sticking out, which it wasn't before. It's not sticking out there. Here, edge of the gasket just right there. Edge of the gasket just right there.
We're gonna reassemble the inlet with this mesh filter. So first, we're gonna take our metal washer and put it on here all the way up there. Then we're taking our banjo fitting and putting that on next. And then we're gonna put another washer on. And then it goes right in here. Now we're gonna put this orange piece back on. Okay, so first we have this piece which we're gonna set down. This side has a little like fat washer that's attached to it that's gonna go down. So put it on like that. And then this wire has a C shape on one end. And that C shape is going to grab the tab that has the hole on the end of it. So put it down over this post and then rotate it around and snap it in. And then that C shape should catch on the wire. And then I'm going to take this piece and that little hole is going to go over this poking up wire like that. And then the other end is going to go over the rectangle right here. Like that. And then we're gonna put on our lock washer. And then we're gonna put on our nut.
What size nut is that?
5/16. Now we're assembling another piece. Yay! So first you're gonna take these two, and this will just go up in there like that. So now we're taking this piece and it's gonna go on here right like that.
Can you show how it is in relation to the little thing that sticks out on the bottom?
I have to push this in really hard to keep it from falling off, but yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Now we're putting on our lock washer and then the nut.
What size nut is that?
5/16. So this spring's gonna go inside of this little bullet, and then it's gonna go spring first into here. We're gonna twist this piece back around. You're gonna kind of have to push the bullet thing down and then twist this piece to be over it. There. And now it's kind of in that one hole.
Okay. There's 2 holes. They seem to be like stops for what we're calling the silver bullet. Slide mark goes from here to here.
We're going to take our screw and put it in this side.
She is getting better, much better about choosing the right screwdriver for the right screw.
Yay. Next, we're going to be putting on this piece right here. Okay, will you hold this back, please? Alright, this is going to have to go on this peg and over the little arm right here. This valve. Yeah, like that. And then just held on by this C-clip. So we're just gonna pop that on. This is the piece that goes like that. We're gonna take this pin and stick it through the hole right here. Like that. Now we are gonna take our little sealing patch and put some silicone on it. I'm gonna put it right over this hole. We're gonna put on the secondary diaphragm.
Okay.
Diaphragm. Do not put this on, this entire piece, do not put it on before you put this on. The 2 screws that go right in here are up under there, so you can't fit them in if this is already on. So right here goes on this little post right there. We're gonna take our little C-clamp. The long ones go to this. The short ones go to this.
It's a pretty good insider tip right there. Like, always use the right length of screw.
Yeah, that's what smart people do. I'm put in this screw, which goes right down here.
Push it up as far as it will go with your thumb. As far as it'll go. And then tighten it.
This piece right here
Yep.
should be below the tab that operates the choke.
Okay.
So this goes up here, lines up with those 2 holes, and then this little stick is going to go in that groove, and then line up those holes.
This is from Holley electric choke installation instructions, but it very clearly shows how this stuff is supposed to go. Note that this adjustment screw is pointing down. Notice that this spring comes over here and sits in here with the straight bar sticking out one side, the hooked end sticking out this side. The hook hooking on nothing. The hook does not have a purpose. And then look how it hooks underneath that right there.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. There we go.
Okay, if there's a trick, what is the trick? Can we tilt this towards the camera and show them?
Yeah. What this connects to has to be pushed that way to get this little bar out of the way so this thing can go up in there.
Are you saying that this arm has to be forced that way?
Yeah, because
as much as
it has another arm connected to
while
it
you're
that was
reinstalling this stuff? Okay. Does it work the way it should?
Yeah, I think so.
This is the clamp that holds the choke cable. And of course, there's no need to tighten it up real tight because we have to put the choke cable in there.
Okay, so we're going to take our spring on our screw and put it right in there.
Okay, basically the procedure here is to tighten the screw all the way in and then run it back out the number of turns that we should. This carburetor was adjusted out 4.5 turns. We know that from the disassembly video.
Okay. A half. 1. 1.5. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. 4.
This vacuum port is unused, so we're putting the cap back on it.
Alright, so this end, straight end, is going to go right in there. And then the other side is going to go through this second hole right here. Like this, just straight through.
Yep.
Why do I bend them separate ways or something?
Yes. I like to wrap them all the way up and around, yeah, like you just did there.